I am Tyler Brown. This is Ronald Vorwerk, my grandpa. He lives in Preston, Minnesota, and he's the person I chose to do my history interview on. When did your first family member come to America?
Tyler, that would have been in about 1860, which would have been my great grandfather, William Vorwerk, and they came over by boat from Germany, which is now Poland, and it was called Prussia. West Prussia is where they immigrated from to America.
Okay. When your ancestors came to America, could they speak English?
As far as I know, Tyler, William Vorwerk, who was the fellow that came over, and he had a brother, and his brother settled in Texas, Austin, and William settled at Gibbon, Minnesota. And I don't think at that time they could speak much English, if any.
Okay. What inventions during your lifetime affected your life the most?
I suppose, Tyler, that would be even the electric light. You know, we were burning candles.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, for the light in the house. I would say electricity.
What was the most popular invention you used during your childhood?
That would be one. The milking machine, where we milk the cows by hand. Now we have a machine that milks the cows. Saved us a lot of time. And the invention of motors and so that drove things. Tractors, where we went from horses to
combustion engine.
Tractors, yeah.
Okay. What was the model of the first car you remember your family driving?
I remember Dad having a Model T, but I never got to drive that. And probably an older Chevrolet.
Okay. Currently, do we Americans rely too much on technology?
Tyler, we probably do. We think everything should be just run by pressing a button, you know, and it's not that, you know. So our technology has gone a long ways in my lifetime even, yeah.
How did you get to school every day?
We went to a parochial school, which is a church-affiliated school. It was 2 miles from our home, and there was 5 families that lived as neighbors, and each day of the week, one neighbor would drive us morning and evening, and that was his job or her job to pick us up and take us to school. And I remember the one neighbor yet, Tyler, he would make us say good morning every time we got in the car, which was a good thing, and it's still a good thing to do today. If you meet somebody, it's either good morning, good evening. Then after that, after I was in about 4th grade, my father built a motor scooter out of a 1.5-horse Briggs & Stratton engine, which my sister and I then used to drive to school in summer. And then later on he built a trailer that I could pull behind where 3 could sit on, and then I took the whole family, my brother and 2 other sisters yet. So 5 of us went on a motor scooter to school and back home again. Saved walking, otherwise we'd walk in summer, 2 miles. Yeah.
What was your favorite subject in school, and why?
I think mine was math, because I got A's in that. I didn't like spelling, Tyler.
Me neither.
I still can't spell good today.
See, you see on this paper, I did not spell half of them right.
But they got on computers now, they have print check or spell check. Yeah.
I rely on that a lot.
Yeah.
Is education valued the same as it was when you were a child?
I think education is probably a real good thing, because in our day, if you got through 8th grade and then you thought you're graduated and you're ready to go out into life, but today I think you need more than 8th grade. You need college, high school. Yep.
Who were your childhood heroes?
Well, I don't know. You know, we used to listen a lot to the radio in our day because we didn't have TV. And Gene Autry and Roy Rogers, those were heroes.
I've heard that one.
Went to a lot of movies where they were in. You know, movies at that time were a quarter. Yeah.
What were your responsibilities around the house to contribute to the family?
Around the house, and we'd do chores. We'd have to get home from school early and then help feed the cattle, and then with the milking. And in the house, we would help Mom get the water. We didn't have toilets inside. We had one outdoor toilet with 2 holes in it, you know. And water, we'd have to go to the pump and then bring it in to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was bath time, we had a big tub in the middle of the room, and the younger children got into that water first, and my father was the last one, and the water got kind of dirty by that time. We used the same water.
How often did you spend time as a whole family?
Oh, Dad and Mom would take us fishing. We had lakes up in that area, and small lakes with a lot of bullheads in it. And our tackle was a line. We called it a throw line, just a piece of string that you'd throw out there with we used a bolt or a nut on the end for weight, tied the hook a little higher, and then the bullhead would bite, we'd crank it in. Then we'd put another worm on, spin it, and then throw it out there and hope another one would bite.
They have like a bobbers on them?
Sometimes we put the bobber on, yeah. Because the water wasn't more than about 4 feet deep, you know.
So if there's a current or something?
No current on those lakes.
Oh, it was a lake?
Lake, yeah.
Yeah. What piece of advice would you offer kids of my generation? Why?
I think to really get down to earth, you should remember to study. Try to get A's if you can. If you're capable, get those A's. Because down the road, as you go and find jobs later on, your education is a big help to you. And try to learn as you go along. Have Dad or Mom train you. I know your dad trains you how to do mechanical work. Yeah. My father did that. I have to take an engine apart out in the shop, and I'd have to put it back together again. So I knew where I laid the bolts and everything, and you better know how to do it, or he'd have you out there the next night doing it.
I remember where you left off. How could we make today a better place? What could we bring back from your generation that is missing from today's children?
Oh, there's many things you could do. Children should always remember to obey their parents or elders, which is not done enough. They wear caps backwards in the house or in the house when we're sitting and eating at the table. Not a good thing. Should be trained differently there. And yeah, Tyler. And then I would say help Mom and Dad, you know. Be thankful that you have a Mom and Dad, you know.
Mm-hmm. What world or local history events did you live through?
Well, the ones I remember, first probably would have been World War II, when we were fighting Germany and Japan, when they invaded Pearl Harbor. And you'd listen to the radio and hope that would all end, you know?
Yep.
And finally it did, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And probably the killing of John F. Kennedy